What's good? Let's analyze some video game music. Queen Snarf suggested the Lanayru Mining Facility. Passed. From Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I'm gonna listen through until I figure out when it looped, and then I'll go back through and try to analyze. Got kalimba. And then, like, some keys under it. Spelling out some ominous chords. Okay. That kalimba and key thing is not going away. That's like the backbone of at least this section, it sounds like. We got some strings kind of harmonizing with the main reedy melody going on. Some kind of bell mallets. Chords rising, and then they kind of resolve to a major. Okay, just got some squealing like woodwinds there. Adding flavor. This is a very sneaky kind of song, right? It's giving a lot of the vibes of like slinking around undercover. It's got them kind of buggy kind of plucks. Very tight, condensed chords that are very, like, urgent sounding. I like that as that chord swells in, like, around that note. That's cool. Yeah, and then it goes back into this. Oh, there's even like a little like marimba kind of double happening on that upper wind melody. Which also gives a little more sneaky kind of like insectoid, like crawly kind of impression, you know? Yeah. Those weird, like, windy samples in the background. They almost sound like voices being pitched. Yeah, huh. Alright, I listened through to 3 minutes of this. I'm pretty sure I've looped already. Sounds like I looped about a minute or so ago. Kind of almost reminds me of the music from Pandemic 2. Alright. Alright. Alright, so it sounds like we're in G. Is it doing that? Or is it doing that? Let me hear again. Okay, so we're tracing up at G minor major 7. And it sounds like we're switching between the minor major 7 and something like that, maybe? And doing this. And the second one does not sound that much like a chord. Sounds just like a sequence of notes. To me. Alright, so we get that like arpeggio going on, and that's gonna be going through most of it, it sounds like. This G major minor 7, and then A add 9, add 2. So it sounds like ultimately the bass motion here is just up and down this half step here. It sounds like there's a drone of G no matter what's happening over it. It sounds like there's a very low G drone, like, through the whole thing, which can conflict with some of the other... You know, it makes this chord. And we also have this upper... It's doing that. So I can kind of see what's happening here. So we have a G minor, and then a C, like 6, or with a G in the bass. Okay. So we have to start with that G minor and then do the tasty one. And even the first arpeggio doesn't necessarily even go with this that well, because they have these two clashing intervals. That's why I was thinking there was another second there that I was missing. And then... It's very foreboding. Like, it's intense, and it's very condensed. There's a lot of clashing intervals that are happening that kind of raise the musical tension of it a little bit. Yeah, and then we start getting more melodies. And that is basically starting on the 5 of the chord we are rooted to. Yeah, and that melody falls on the... That makes that major 7 chord, basically. That major 7 of the root. Yeah, and the strings are like moving with that melody too. Yeah. And it sounds like there is a... Yeah, like a D major chord that kind of rises around that note. It ends up being like an odd choice for the chord to move to. Basically, everything around it sort of builds a context into this is part of a D major chord now. Like in that one little moment, and I like that. Then we go back to this cycle of the... Yeah, we do that one more. Like that. And the bass, if there's any harmonic motion going on here, it's just like a half-step motion, basically, between the G and the flat second. And then it sounds like we move to like an E flat major. And then that also steps up a half step as the melody follows it. And we step up another whole step. We're in F sharp now. And I'm hearing like a chord that's rooted in this E flat again. And I'm hearing a major interval over it. And I think they use that to just go back to that G minor. G minor seems to have come up a lot in today's songs, I notice. All right. We're at 123. The song doesn't have too much longer until it loops, and I can pretty much see everything that it's doing. And I think we've looped. Because I remember hearing that melody in the beginning. Yeah, I like that. I like when it goes down to here and it does the... basically does the 5 of the G chord. So that's pretty much everything that's happening. Most of what this is doing is based around the, just kind of droning on a G, pedaling on G, and kind of hitting some spooky intervals around it while still keeping it there. Sort of implying that it moves up to something else, while not really fully doing that. And the one time that we get like a good clear chord, it's that D major that builds itself out of that one note that just hangs. And I really like that. It's supposed to be like a witnessing a world where you're never supposed to be in type deal. There's also a lot of moving parts. Yeah, the song has a very sense of a lot going on, especially in the upper, like the arpeggiation with the piano with it. The strings and everything are very, they swell in. There's not a whole lot of like confidence to the movements. Everything is still sort of rooted in this G, and it doesn't move like away from it, right? And it makes everything seem a little bit out of place, but just musically enough out of place that it makes it interesting and paints like a picture and has imagery. One reason I think that is when you use like open chords like this and you just add another flavor interval to the top, it doesn't matter what it is. Like say, that's a 2, let's see. That's a normal 7. That's a flat 6. That's a 6. All of those have some extra color that is being put in context and held down by the fact that there is a full triad under it, a full root 5th and 3rd. I like this. It reminds me a lot of the music from Pandemic 2. Similar tonal choices, and a similar sense of like urgency, things going wrong. I like a lot of what this is doing. I think it could be doing more, but it's not annoying to me. The way that it worked in the arpeggios, even though they have some clashing notes, the voices that they're used on, and the way that the track evolves around them and like fits them into place and context, it's very appealing, I would say. You know, it could have done more. It didn't quite wow me. It did a couple interesting things. I think I would give this a 4. I think I would give this a 4 out of 5 if I'm gonna rate it. 4 out of 5. That is another waxing gibbous for me. That is the Lanayru Mining Facility past version from Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and that was suggested by Queen Snarf in the chat. Thank you so much. All right, how do you think I did? If you like the analysis, hit like. If you want to see more stuff like this in the future, hit subscribe and the bell to make sure you see when new videos go up. Let me know what you think. Is there anything you think I missed? Let me know in the comments. I would love the feedback. If you want to catch me doing this live without any edits, just figuring things out as I go, you can check out case.dog/stream and see when I'm live. And if you want to submit a song yourself, you can check out my Discord channel for it at case.dog/VGM. I'll see you next time.